Thank you very much, Amy. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I wish I was able to be with you in order to communicate more, but I'm happy to be anyway with you and congratulate you on the International Women's Day, despite that the Palestinian women today are celebrating the marking the commemoration of the International Women's Day under very difficult conditions in both in the West Bank, in Gaza, and in East Jerusalem, occupied East Jerusalem. Today is marks over 150 days of the ongoing tragedy of Gaza genocide, an episode with the larger series of ethnic cleansing and occupation that commenced 75 years ago. Over this period, more than 30,000 Palestinians have fallen victim to the brutal violence, their lives cut short indiscriminately, 70% of which are women and children. The sheer magnitude of this loss has compelled us, as women's organizations, to break our long-standing tradition of advocating for the plight of women under Israeli occupation. The gravity of the current situation demands our attention by directed towards the broader human tragedy unfolding in Gaza. The testimonies we've gathered and the harrowing footage from Gaza evoke memories of Rwanda and Bosnia, unfortunately. The sight of emaciated bodies of deliberately starved children brings back haunting images of atrocities of the Second World War, to which the Charter of the United Nations was established. Our focus has shifted from advocating for women's health access and safety and political participation. Instead, we're urgently demanding the right of women not to be mutilated and not to have to collect the body parts of their children. We're tragically unable to address the plight of the disabled elderly or pregnant women who have given birth amidst this genocide. Our sole demand now is a permanent ceasefire to salvage which remains of the Gaza population, to set an example of the young population who have witnessed the horrors of genocide through live streams on their phones. We urgently call for a permanent ceasefire. I'm trying today to just give you a brief about this situation to frame the resolution 1325, which addresses the issue of protection, prevention, political participation, and accountability. Four important pillars of the UN resolution 1325. It is very important that we take this as a framework to ensure that women under occupation and under the current genocide are being protected and are provided with the necessary humanitarian aid, the comprehensive humanitarian aid to all parts of the Gaza Strip. Not to mention the current situation as well in the West Bank, which is being undermined, but is really impacting everyone, including women, by settler violence and the complicity of the Israeli soldiers who are allowing the settlers to go ahead and do that. From the beginning, when we adopted the agenda of women, peace, and security, we adopted it as a framework, understanding that our situation is unique because we are talking about a prolonged military occupation without too much redress to the victims. As Reverend Mitri has said, Rahab said, Article 11 of the UN Security Resolution is very important because it addresses the issue of impunity. We Palestinian people have a just right to freedom and to our rights to enjoy all human rights, and therefore Palestinian women as well need to see impunity, needs to see redress to the war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide that is being inflicted by the occupying power on our daily lives as Palestinian people. We are really very much diligent as women's activists and feminists to see that we are not only being seen, as my colleague Randa said, as victims, but also as rights holders, and that we are defenders of human rights. Palestinian women in the Gaza Strip now, under the current situation in refuge, being forcibly displaced, are now taking all the measures necessary in order to support women and people who are in these displaced shelters under very difficult situations without any kind of privacy or any kind of minimal needs of their humanitarian needs, including the right to food, which is a crime against humanity, to starve a population. Despite that, I'm so proud to say that all the Palestinian leadership, feminist leadership, is there on the ground, in the field, working very hard in order to ensure that they support and protect the families, provide their needs, and see what are their priorities. So women leaders are not advocating for human rights abroad, but are staying in Gaza in order to support their other the families and the refugees and the people who have been internally displaced and are under very difficult situations. Now, this entails that there should be meaningful political participation for women. And this is what UN Resolution 1325 and the subsequent resolutions speak about. Women should be in the leadership, should be in the negotiations, in peace building, in reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. We should not be excluded once this war is over, once this military aggression on Gaza is over. We have to ensure that women's rights and women's issues are set forth in the priority. Women are in the leadership also in decision making, and they're in the reconstruction of Gaza, because we always find ourselves in that situation. Now, my only call for you, I know that all the peoples of the world, including Danish people going out in the streets, supporting the Palestinian right to freedom and to self-determination, and to end this, to ceasefire and to end the war on Gaza. We really want you to continue your advocacy work with your governments. There is a legal and moral obligation on all states to respect the rights of the Palestinian people, to protection from the genocide under which we are being subjected. We also think that Denmark, now in its pursuit towards joining the Security Council, and hopefully they do next year, that they really play an important role and give a very important role to the women, peace, and security agenda. This is where the international community committed. We know that now we lose hope and we feel that there are human rights is being seen in double standards. Despite that, we think that all governments have legal obligations and are committed to the women, peace, and security agenda, to maintaining peace and security globally. And therefore, the Palestinian cause and the right of Palestinian people and Palestinian women should be really set forth at the forefront in all your pursuits in the upcoming time. Now, urgently, we need to see ceasefire and comprehensive humanitarian aid provided to our people. And thank you.